Have you ever wished for just one more day with someone you lost? What if that wish came true? Adrian knew regret better than anyone. His mother had passed away suddenly a year ago. No warnings, no goodbyes. And every night since, he replayed their last conversation, distracted, impatient, unfinished. He had brushed her off, saying he was too busy to talk. Now, that moment was a prison. On the anniversary of her death, Adrian wandered into the old train station where she used to wait for him after school. The station was nearly abandoned now. Dusty benches, broken lights, echoes of voices long gone. He sat on the cold bench, staring at the empty tracks, whispering words she would never hear. "I'm sorry. I should have said I love you." And that's when he noticed it. An old broken pocket watch, lying on the ground as if waiting for him. Its glass was cracked, its hands frozen at 11:11. When he picked it up, the world shifted. The sound of the station vanished. The flickering lights froze. His breath caught in his throat as everything dissolved into a blinding flash of white. And then, Adrian opened his eyes to find himself standing in the same train station. But it wasn't empty. It was alive. The walls gleamed with fresh paint. The lights were bright. People hurried past, laughing, talking, carrying newspapers from 10 years earlier. Adrian's heart thundered in his chest. Somehow, he had been thrown into the past. And then he saw her, his mother, younger, alive, waiting on the platform. Adrian's legs nearly gave out. Tears welled in his eyes as he whispered her name. She turned, smiled politely, but didn't recognize him. To her, he was just a stranger. Adrian wanted to collapse in her arms, to scream the truth. But the pocket watch pulsed in his hand, glowing faintly as if warning him. One day. No more. One day to rewrite everything. One day to say what he never said. Adrian followed her, staying close but never revealing the truth. He listened to her laugh as she chatted with strangers. He memorized her voice, her smile, the way she tilted her head when she was thinking. Every second felt like it was slipping through his fingers, but the more time he spent near her, the more reality began to fracture. Shadows stretched unnaturally across the station floor. Lights flickered. The air itself seemed to hum. Time was bending, struggling to hold together. Adrian ignored it. He couldn't waste this chance. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, he walked beside her. Their hands brushed. His chest ached with the weight of 1,000 unsaid words. He wanted to tell her everything, who he was, what she meant to him, but fear kept him silent. And then the pocket watch burned hot in his hand. The glass shimmered, and words etched themselves across the crack. "Shatter me, and stay forever." Adrian froze. The meaning hit him like a freight train. If he shattered the watch, he could remain here, forever, with her. But the cost would be devastating. The present, his friends, his family, his entire world would collapse. His chest tightened. He could finally have what he longed for, or he could lose everything else. The hours ticked away. The station clock neared midnight. Reality around him cracked further. Voices warped into whispers. Shadows bled across the floor like ink. The world was warning him. One life saved, 1,000 lost, but his heart screamed louder than logic. As midnight approached, Adrian sat with his mother on the station bench. She laughed at something he said, her eyes shining with warmth he thought he'd never see again. His hands trembled. He lifted the watch. The glass seemed to beg for release. Her hand brushed his. She smiled at him, a stranger she didn't know she loved. Adrian's soul tore in two, and in the final seconds, he made his choice. He held her hand tightly, burning the moment into his memory. He whispered so softly she couldn't hear, "I love you, Mom." And then with shaking fingers, he let the watch slip from his hand. It hit the floor, shattered. But instead of keeping him in the past, the world dissolved in light. Adrian gasped awake in the present, back in the empty station, the broken benches, the flickering lights. alone, but not empty, because now he carried that one day inside him, a memory strong enough to heal. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered again, this time into the silence, "I love you, Mom." And for the first time since she was gone, Adrian felt peace. Because some shadows aren't meant to be rewritten, they're meant to be remembered.